Kel, glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Monday afternoon. Got a whole lot more to get to today, but really excited to talk to our next guest, the head football coach for your Georgia Southern Eagles, Clay Helton. Coach, first time coming on the show with me here, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully the first of many.
Thanks for having me, Christian.
And, Coach, you guys wrapping up a busy signing period, and obviously signing day just the beginning of a long signing period all the way up until fall camp starts there. But just your over-the-top impressions of this signing class. I know coming in, you kind of had an advantage over some of the other first-year coaches because of how early you were able to come in here. But just give us that overarching view of this class.
Yeah, just like you said, I thought that Jared Benko's proactiveness in his decision in hiring and giving us the opportunity to come in November, really having the opportunity to see our current team, see what the needs are, and be able to jumpstart some recruiting, to be able to have those 30 to 45 days were extremely helpful. And you look up in December signing class, and we signed 20 kids. Now we're able to add six more to this class in February. Still have some opportunities that are still left out there, with the new NCAA rule of the +7 due to transfers and attrition. So really am pleased with this class. Very balanced class, 13 offense and 13 defensive players. We stay true to the development of our young people, basically really focusing on high school players, especially in the state of Georgia. I think 19 of our 22 freshmen are from the state of Georgia. Brought in some valuable transfer needs that we really feel 4 transfers that will come in and be able to help us immediately. So a class that we're really proud of. It was a short period of time. It wasn't your true yearly recruiting cycle, but to be able to come in here and address some immediate needs for next year's class was very important.
Yeah, I remember after your opening press conference where you were introduced, immediately out on the practice field, watching those guys practice, kind of evaluating. When you guys looked at the roster you had, what were some of the positions of need that you feel like you needed to address in this class?
Yeah, well, obviously, when you're changing systems, we looked at 2 positions offensively. We decided to broaden the quarterback room. Obviously, we have 2 good quarterbacks in that room with Cam and Connor, but wanted to bring in 2 rookies as well as an older player. So, we were able to go out and get Kyle from Buffalo and really bring him in, a guy that, has been a 3-year starter and has tremendous amount of talent. And then, you go out and get Zach Rosman and David Dallas, two Georgia quarterback prospects that we feel like have immense talent, and you've really strengthened that room. We also felt like we wanted to broaden the wide receiver room. Obviously, going to be a more balanced offense. It's one of the reasons that you look up and we signed 5 receivers in this class, 4 rookies and 1 older player in Jeremy Singleton. But excited about the addition of the skill to the offensive side.
And, Coach, you look at what Brian Ellis has been able to do, your offensive coordinator, what he was able to do at Western Kentucky. I mean, Bailey Zappi, his former quarterback, lighting it up down there at the Senior Bowl, setting all kinds of records this past year. It's kind of a flip in mindset, I'm sure, for a lot of Georgia Southern fans. But you mentioned those quarterbacks there. How competitive do you think that room's going to be this spring?
Oh, ultra competitive and really appreciative of the kids that are here. One of the things that I've seen immediately, and it's a sign of good players, is they don't fear competition. They don't care who's in the room. They just want to have the opportunity to compete. And, and not only with Cam and Connor, but the 3 new additions that we put in the room, they all just want the opportunity to compete and are excited about the system that Coach Ellis brings to the table. Why wouldn't you be?
Right.
Number 1 passing offense in the country, that threw for more yards and more touchdowns in the history of the game. So, I know they're excited about it, but we're excited about also, just as a coaching staff, is the ability to be a more balanced offense. And, when you bring a J.D. King back and you bring a Gerald Green and a Jalen White, and then additions of Amari Arnold and Terrence Gibbs to that running back room, also, you're talking about a tremendous 1-2 punch to be able to not only have a great passing game, but have a highly effective running game. That's been the staple of what Georgia Southern football has been about.
And Coach, you mentioned Terrence Gibbs there. I don't know how much stock you put into stars there, but per the metrics of 247 and Rivals, one of the highest rated, if not the highest rated recruit Georgia Southern has ever pulled in. And this is the school of Adrian Peterson and Jarek McKinnon and those guys and Matt Breida. What kind of back did you get in Gibbs?
Well, obviously when we signed Amari Arnold, we had the lightning portion of
Okay.
the running
All
through.
right.
And here came Terrence Gibbs as the Thunder. A big back that's already over 200 pounds, probably going to be a 215, 220-pound man before it's all said and done. And you look how talented the young man is. One of probably the top three backs going into his junior year, suffers an injury, back healthy now. And really, I think that foundation of the tradition of excellence that is the running back position at Georgia Southern really caught the eye of Amari and Terrence. And having both those kids here provides us a great 1-2 punch, not only immediately, but for the future also.
Coach, defensively, obviously the Sun Belt is smash mouth kind of league. You have Louisiana in the style of offense. They like to run. App State, Coastal Carolina with their option. It's a lot of big boy football up front. Defensively, how'd you guys feel like you addressed some of the needs on that side of the ball?
Yeah, you talk about big boys, and we went out and got 3 interior players that I'm really excited about. Losing C.J. Wright to the NFL, which, we want each and every year to our players to have that opportunity to move on to the NFL. We really felt we wanted to help our interior, so we were able to go get a great transfer product in Christian Varner, but also 2 interior prospects in Kai Teo, as well as Latrell Bullard that are there's 300-pounders right there that are going to help the interior. You add El Hajj Fall, and you're talking about some really unique talent on that defensive front. So it was something that we wanted to address, and I thought that Will Harris and Rip Rowan did an amazing job along with our recruiting team to go out and get those kids.
And Coach, the spring game coming up on April 23rd. I know I've heard a lot of call to actions from other coaches when this comes around, because not just an event to see the upcoming team, but really a huge recruiting weekend for you guys. How important is it for you to, as we say, pack Paulson coming up on April 23rd?
Well, I think we have one of the more unique college football environments there are in the country. Even, when I was here for the BYU game that Saturday, beautiful fall Saturday, you see how special Statesboro, Georgia is on a game day. And, to be able to have, our spring practices on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, starting March 22nd, going all the way through April 23rd, we're using those Saturdays for having the opportunities for young men to be able to come on campus and see how special this place had. And that spring game is a culmination of 5 weeks of work, again, with our fans there, where recruits can come out and be able to see, wow, this is a special place, a special community where football just means more to them.
And Coach Clay Helton, kind enough to take some time with us here on this Monday afternoon. Coach, before we let you get out of here, you're a football guy. I know it. NFL, we have the Super Bowl coming up, but I think before that, have you ever seen a divisional round better than what we saw with like the Rams and the Buccaneers? And just it was 2 straight days of just football bliss.
I'm going to tell you, I was like a 6th grader all over again. Some of the best playoff games that I can possibly remember coming down. So exciting. And I'm a quarterback coach by trade.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best quarterback play maybe in the history of our game over a 2-week period of time that these guys have done. Can't wait to watch the Super Bowl this Sunday.
And Coach, before I let you get out of here, Joe Burrow, I've been putting this out there. It's just there's some things intrinsically in people, and he just seems like he's a winner. Has never lost a playoff game going back to college, and I don't know how to put my finger on it. Obviously, he has an arm. He's very talented with his feet. He's very accurate. But what is it about Joe Burrow where he comes on your team and all of a sudden you're winning?
Well, I've always thought great quarterbacks give hope. And every time that Joe steps on the field, he gives whatever team he's on great hope. And you've seen it not only in college now, but also in the NFL. To walk into opposing stadiums like he has over the past 2 weeks and do what he has done, and more importantly, lift his team up to an elite high standard. Watch out for him in the Super Bowl. It's going to be a great one between them.
You got a prediction for us?
I tell you what, at being in LA and the aura around Matthew Stafford, I know that's it's an important game for a lot of those guys on that team. Haven't been in LA the last 12 years. I think the Rams by that much. It's going to be a heck of a football game.
Clay Helton, kind enough to join us here. Georgia Southern has their spring game set for April 23rd. Make sure you get out there and pack Paulson, because it's going to be a show with that new offense and the new quarterbacks and running backs they got out there in Statesboro. Coach, I appreciate the time, man. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Christian. Hail Southern.